fifth grade. Today we're going to work on dividing whole numbers by fractions. I'm going to do a couple of examples with models, and then I'll show you the standard algorithm. Okay, so first I'm going to start with a piece of ribbon. Actually, 3 pieces of ribbon. Okay, I have 3 pieces of ribbon right here, and I'm going to divide the ribbon by 2/4. So 3 divided by 2/4 is the problem that I'm going to be doing. 3 divided by 2/4. So I have 3 pieces of ribbon. What I'm trying to find is how many 2/4 sections do I have in 3 pieces of ribbon. So I have to take a pair of scissors, and I'm going to cut my ribbon into 2/4 sections. So first I'm going to cut it in half, and then I'm going to cut it in half again to get fourths. Okay, so now I have that one piece of ribbon cut. Now I'll cut my next piece of ribbon the same way. Remember, I'm trying to find out how many 2/4 sections I have because my divisor is 2/4. My dividend is 3 divided by 2/4. Okay, now I've got my last piece of ribbon. Okay, so remember, I want to know how many 2/4 sections I have. So here are my 3 pieces of ribbon that I cut up. Okay, and now I'm going to see how many 2/4 sections I have. There's one 2/4 section, and here's another one. Okay, here's another 2/4 section. Here's another 2/4, and here's 2/4. Remember, each of these pieces is 1/4 of the whole, and so 2 of the pieces is 2/4. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 2/4 pieces. Okay, so 3 divided by 2/4 equals 6. Okay, that's one example. Now I'm going to take another example with some fraction strips. This time I'm going to do 1 divided by 2/4. Do 2/4 again. So here's my whole, and I'm going to take 1/4 pieces. Okay, there. Take my whole and divide it into fourths, and I can see I have 2/4 and 2/4. I have 2 2/4 sections. So 1 divided by 2/4 equals 2. All right, I'm going to take my same 1, and this time I'm going to divide it into 2/6. And I want to see how many 2/6 sections I have. So I'll take my 1. Okay, so I'm doing 1 divided by 2/6. 1 divided by 2/6. Okay, so I want to see how many 2/6 sections there are in 1. There's 2/6, 2/6, and 2/6. I have 3 2/6 sections. So 1 divided by 2/6 equals 3. Okay, the way that you find the quotient, you divide a whole number by a fraction, is there are several steps. The first thing you have to do is, let's just say I'm going to do 3 divided by 3/4. Okay, here are the steps. Number 1, make your whole number into a fraction. So 3/1. Okay, that's the first step. The second step is that I multiply by the reciprocal of my divisor. Here's my divisor, 3/4. Remember, we did this yesterday. Reciprocal is when I switch the numerator and denominator. So the reciprocal of 3/4 is 4/3. And I multiply by the reciprocal of my divisor. And then I just multiply, just like this is regular fractions, regular multiplication of fractions. So I can simplify here, and I get 4/1, which equals 4. So 3 divided by 3/4 equals 4. Okay, let me show you that with the ribbon. Remember, I had 3 pieces of ribbon, and I cut it into 4 sections. So if I had 3 divided by 3/4, I'll get 3/4 sections here. can see that I have 4 sections of 3/4. So 3 divided by 3/4 equals 4. Okay, and another example. All right, let's see, let's do 3 divided by 2/3. 3 divided by 2/3. First step, rename the whole number as a fraction. So 3 over 1. Second step, multiply by the reciprocal of the divisor. So the reciprocal of 2/3 is 3/2. And then I multiply. 3 times 3 is 9. 1 times 2 is 2. 9/2, which equals 4 1/2. That means in 3 wholes, I have 4 1/2 sections of 2/3. So the quotient is 4 1/2. All right, let's take another one. Let's do 13 divided by 3/10. 13 divided by 3/10. Okay, first I rename the whole number as a fraction. 13 over 1 times the reciprocal of my divisor, 10/3. So I get 130 thirds. And then I need to divide. 130 divided by 3. 3 goes into 13 4 times. 4 times 3 is 12. 3 goes into 10 3 times. 3 times 3 is 9. I'm going to have 1 left over. So it equals 43 1/3. All right, let's do another problem. Let's do 8 divided by 1/10. First step, rename the whole number as a fraction. Then multiply by the reciprocal of the divisor. So 1/10 would be 10, but we're going to write it as 10 over 1. And then I multiply. I get 80 over 1, which equals 80. So 8 divided by 1/10 equals 80, which you already knew how to do that because that's just a unit fraction. But that's why it works too, with using the standard algorithm. All right, let's look here in your workbook on page 153. You're only going to do 153. There are just 10 questions here, 12 questions. On the first part, it just says find the reciprocal of the divisor. You don't have to solve anything. All you have to write is the reciprocal of the divisor. Remember, the divisor is the number that you are dividing by. So number 1, the reciprocal of 2/7 is 7/2. That's all you have to write for number 1. Number 1, 7/2. The second part says rewrite the division problem as a multiplication by the reciprocal. You don't have to solve here either. You just have to rewrite the problem as multiplication by the reciprocal. So number 5 says 1 divided by 8/9. On the line, you're going to change the 1 to a fraction. 1 over 1 times 9/8. That's all you have to write in the line. You don't have to solve anything. Just rewrite the problem as multiplication by the reciprocal of the divisor. And then on 9 through 12, that's where you actually have to solve them. Let's look at number 9. We have 4 divided by 4/9. So first step, rename the whole number as a fraction with a denominator of 1. So 4 over 1. Okay, and then multiply by the reciprocal of the divisor, 9/4. Okay, I can simplify here. And then I get 9 over 1, which equals 9. So 4 divided by 4/9 equals 9. If you forget the steps, they're written right here. Rename the whole number as a fraction with a denominator of 1. Multiply by the reciprocal of the divisor. Simplify where possible. Multiply the numerators and multiply the denominators. Rename the product as a whole number or mixed number if necessary. Okay, so once you rewrite the division problem as a multiplication by the reciprocal of the divisor, then you just multiply. Okay, so you only have to do page 153.